So 1 second, let me just make sure that we're live on LinkedIn and that we're live on YouTube as well, and then we will get started. So it's saying that it's waiting for me on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Let me just check that we're live there. Yes, live on YouTube
Okay.
and live on LinkedIn. So
Okay.
good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. As you know, or just in case you don't know, Sha, my name is Omodara Adejiron, and I'm the facilitator of Beyond Your Title, which is a personal branding course that is focused on impact. So basically, it's a course that I started to help people to create brands that are authentic and true to themselves, that are in line with their values, right? And that most importantly, make a difference in the industries in which they operate. So it's a course that I'm very proud of, and it's a course I'm very passionate about. So I started this last year, and so far we've had different people from the legal profession, from the food and drink industry, people in communications, people in consulting, people in finance, and quite a number of interesting industries, tech as well. Quite a number of interesting industries joined the course, and now we're open up for registration again. Just to run you through a little bit of the course, we focus on different things around making sure we start out with a self evaluation, like a personal assessment, to make sure that every single thing that you're doing is in line with your values and making sure that you're not the toxic person that you are complaining that other people are. And then we move on to things around identifying who your target audience is, who your focus areas are, and then we expose you to the different platforms that are available outside of LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram that everybody knows. But even if you know those ones, how can you leverage them and use them better? And then lastly, we teach you about the frequency of your messaging, of your posting. We teach you that content platforms are beyond just online platforms. There's so much work you can do offline as well. We also teach you about putting your privacy controls in place, so you don't think that because you're creating a personal brand, we have to know what your son had for supper, or what your husband had for dinner, or what your wife had for lunch. We help you to keep those privacy controls in place and get the work focused on things that people will find valuable, and that also does not put your family at risk. Now, some of the things that we do. So I've told you about the course. To register, it's very simple. You just have to go to bit.ly. I'll put that in the chat box, bit.ly/BYT join. I'll put it in the comment section for this session so you can see it. We have an early bird discount going on. So if you sign up before February 4th or 5th, I believe. 4th or 5th, you get 15% off both options, either the essential option, which is just the classes and the recordings, or the immersive option where you get to do group accountability and you get group coaching from me as well. We're all learning, but I really, really love to support people and take it an extra mile to make sure that you do the work that you've paid for. Alrighty, so we'll be starting that in a couple of weeks. Inshallah. But before then, we usually like to do these amazing build up sessions that I call Beyond Your Title Conversations, where we bring different professionals and entrepreneurs. As you know, the course is for professionals and entrepreneurs. So we bring different professionals and entrepreneurs to come and tell us about their industries so we can really go deep into the work that they're doing, learn from their experience, and also understand how personal branding plays a role in the amazing industries in which they operate. And right now, I feel like it's beginning to feel like a movie, like a soundtrack. I'm just going on and on and on. But today, I am super excited, and I know I say that all the time, but today I'm extra, extra, extra excited because here with me is my Egbo. I cannot come here and just say this is yesterday. No, no, no. I mean, Yoruba girl, they slap my face if I do it. So I have to come and tell people that this is my mom who has honored me with her presence today, and I am very grateful to have her here. I can go on and on about who she is, but I'm going to give her the floor and let her give us a brief background on who she is. So, welcome to the session today. My
Thank
boss, Sister
you.
Yetunde Okabo. Welcome to the session, and please tell us about yourself.
Oh, Dara. Dara. Thank you very much for having me. I'm super, super excited to be here with you. As you all know, my name is Yetunde Brahima Abib. I'm a legal consultant and the Deputy Manager Director for Total Data Limited. I love the legal profession and I'm doing my bits with it. I'm so big on social capital. I'm very interested with the people around me. For instance, this little girl here, Amodara, is one of the people that have paved way for a lot of things for me. Yes, she says I'm a but I'm learning so much from her. And also the likes of Inia Bimbola, Auntie Inia Bimbola, Uncle Yemi Fashion, and my lovely friend Deola Ajala. This is one of the people that's like my support system, my pillars, my pallbearers. So I'm big on support system, social capital. And also, I have a fetish for learning. I'm always learning, trying new things. And I'm a foodie and an adventure junkie. Thank you for
Love
having me
it,
here.
love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Welcome, welcome, and thank you so much, sis, for taking out the time to come and have a discussion with us. So
Thank
I
you.
will kick off with our legal questions, and then we can kind of move into the questions that we have around personal branding. So the
Okay.
first question I have, I see this question. I'm actually honored to be here. Let me tell you why. Because one, I actually wanted to study law before jam jammed me left, right, and center. And it dealt with me. But before then, I actually wanted to study law because, as you know, quite the talker, right? So when I was small, everybody was like, you just have to be a lawyer, you have to be, and I held the best arguments. Even when I was saying rubbish, I would always hold the ground. So I was supposed to be a lawyer, but here we are. Look at me now. So I wanted to know what inspired you to pursue this career in law and how has the journey been? Let me know if I should feel bad that I'm not there, if I should be happy that
Oh,
yes, God save me.
oh
So yeah.
no. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. What inspired me, like we know our generation, our parents usually tell us, do this, do that, do this. So my dad said, study law. Initially, I wanted to become a chef. I love to cook. That's why you
Ooh.
heard when I said that I'm a
Ooh.
food junkie. So I studied law, and along the line, I found it interesting because it aligned with my purpose. I like to help people. I like to help people in their business. I like to help people with their family. I like to help people. So it aligns with my passion, my purpose. And also, one thing I discovered about the legal profession is that it transcends every field. It transcends every field, it transcends every job role, it transcends every culture. So it makes it interesting, and I find that very exciting and quite stimulating. So that's propelled me to study law and still be in the legal profession.
Love that, love that, love that. So I feel bad now. I feel bad. I'm not going back. I cannot study again, please. I'm going today. I cannot study again. Will you say that the journey has been everything you expected and more? How would you define it so far?
It's been challenging. It's been
Mm,
challenging because the resources are limited for certain social class. But now the resource is vast. You can get it anywhere. So you need to keep learning. You need to keep updating yourself. And as I said earlier, it transcends every field, every aspect of life. So you see people specializing in what resonates with them. Even even when I wanted to become a chef, I didn't become it, but I took culinary classes. And during the classes, I could see where law would come in, what aspect of
mm,
law would come in to guide that or regulate that part of food management, part of the food industry. Do you understand? So
yes.
I've found it challenging and very interesting. Yes, it has built up my resilience to be able to wave to a lot of things, and it's been
Yes.
good so far. So far, so
Mm.
far.
No,
It's
I
been good
feel
and
bad.
bad, but it's been good so far.
I feel bad for myself, but I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that it's been good for you. And just before we continue, let me quickly give a quick shout out to some of the people who have joined us. I see Festus here, Dr. Akintunde, Miss Bell Alamu, and Zainab. Welcome, welcome everybody, and thanks for joining us. And Fumilayo as well. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Happy to
Yeah.
take your questions. Please feel free to add them in the comment section, and we will try our best to attend to them. Alrighty. Next question. In your opinion, what are the three most important qualities that makes a legal professional stand out?
Okay. Before I ask them that question, I want to shout out to Musbada Lao. Is one of my mentors. Thank you for tuning in.
So technically, it's my Egbo. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining.
Okay. Okay. One of the skills, three skills I think, qualities I think a legal professional should have is analytical and critical thinking. It's you can't overflog it. It's so necessary because you would have situations where you have to interpret complex laws, regulations, cases, interpret complex, difficult matters for your clients, and you should be able to bring about problem solving skills, make decisions for them, effective problem solving skills, and try and prefer solutions to them that would assist them. You'll be able to solve their issues right there and then. So it's
Yes.
analytical and critical thinking skills is very paramount. Also, integrity and ethical conduct of a legal professional.
Mm.
Our profession sings it, and you as an individual should also ensure that you imbibe it because clients will want to they would judge you not only on what you have, your competency, but also your ethical conduct. Then I'll also talk about communication skills. That is very, very important. It's like you need to have clear, effective communication skills because you need to be able to articulate legal concepts to your clients. You need to
Mm.
be able to have good, strong writing skills, to draft documents that it's discernible by anybody who is able to read it, not coming up with jargons that people cannot understand or read. And also, effective verbal communication comes to play, not only during court appearances, but during negotiations and during client interactions. So these are the three skills I feel is very important for a legal professional.
Nice. Love to hear it. From what you say, I feel like I'll make a good legal professional. Don't you think so? I think so. I think so. If you don't add me, I will add myself. I I think so. And I really like that you mentioned like ethics and integrity because I feel that that's it's a skill everybody needs to have, but it's also sometimes a very interesting skill. So I would say that my question will be how do we maintain ethics and integrity? Sorry, how do we maintain ethics and integrity when we're in a situation where everybody else is unethical? So there are lots of unethical things going on. There are lots of, people have thrown caution to the wind. How do you stand, like how do you stand firm on your values when it's really difficult?
That question almost somehow speaks to what we're here for. What
Hmm.
kind of branding do you want to present to yourself? What kind of personal branding do you want to present to yourself?
Hmm.
I want to present myself as an ethical and a person of integrity. So I would ensure that the clients I see, the portfolio, the briefs I take are things that align with my values. Yes, it might not bring in the big money, but I'm sure there's a way you can navigate it so that you do not derail or erode your ethical conduct, your ethical and your integrity.
Yes, yes, yes. I agree. It can be really challenging, and I really like how you said that it might not bring the big money, but in the end, it's the right thing to do. Because for how long do we want to play hanky panky and do it for the money, but throw our
That's into the
integrity and
wind.
yeah, it's really sad. We do see situations like that, but we do hope that the people who join this session and people who watch it later will make a greater effort to be part of the will make an effort to be part of the good, even if the
Then not
small fraction of the people that we find in the society. Okay, awesome. I think the next thing I want to ask is I was really looking through your profile and knowing some of the work that you do. I find it interesting that you've offered services to SMEs and you've done some work with them. I know that when it comes to like the details of like the legal of like law and like trying to interpret that and also making sure that the work that we do is ethical and that it's on the right side of the law. I know that sometimes SMEs face a lot of challenges because, sometimes somebody just starts a business or starts an organization based on something that they're passionate about. And then it's later on that you'll start finding out that, you're supposed to do this or you're supposed to do that. But sometimes it just comes from a point of, oh, I'm just passionate about it. I'm happy about it. I feel like it's something great. How do I do it? Before you know, like the nitty gritty of what it entails. So, excuse me.
Sorry, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. So, considering the unique challenges that SMEs might go through, um, how can legal, considering the unique challenges that we find that SMEs face, how do you, as a legal professional, like resonate with this, and how are you able to address the specific needs that they have?
Okay, okay. So what I do is to tailor legal services according to the SME.
Mm,
For instance, you're a tech savvy person, you're coming up with an app. At that point, there's this perception that legal service is expensive. But when you look
yes.
at, yeah, yeah, I know. But when you consider the liability, supposed liability that might occur, and the legal and the risk that you as an individual, as an SME owner, might not see, but the legal professional might see, it's essential that you have it from the onset. I would say from the onset because, okay, when that idea is coming into you, when you have that idea, at that time you wouldn't know that, oh, there's need for me to put this down, there's need for me to get legal process, intellectual property on this. You just go along with your investor and see everything, and the person comes around to take your idea and you say, oh, no, it's my own now. Man, at that time, you're supposed to have engaged a legal professional. He will tell you, okay, you do it like this. This is what you terms and conditions we have in the contract. These are what the legal principles guiding you. This is how you protect yourself. So it's with you at the very beginning.
Mm,
At the
yeah.
very beginning, and the legal professional, what we will do is to create a cost-effective legal solutions to you that will speak to your business.
Mm, mm,
We would educate you on the legal issues that you might have. We will let you know about the risk involved and how you can mitigate this risk. So it's essential to have us at very beginning. Okay, for instance, let me take an example of a supermarket owner. You're having a supermarket owner, a big brand or a mart buying and selling. You have to have a very good contract with your vendors, with the people you're buying the products from. And at the same time, you have to ensure that you protect yourself from liability as regards to your consumer. Okay, you come up with the idea. There's the new tech idea, technological integration. You want to have a loyalty card for your consumers. But do you
yes.
know that before you get that loyalty card, you're going to ask your consumers, your customers, to put down their details, their
Mm-hmm.
names, their addresses, and all that. You have to ensure that whatever you're doing, what you're doing, it's in line with the data protection and privacy standards. You wouldn't know. You just think that I'm just collecting it. I'm not doing anything with it. But your lawyer will be able to advise you how to do it properly so that a customer or a consumer will not come back and meet you and sue you for collecting his data without him consenting to it. So
Let
you
me go and sue them. Okay.
without him consenting to it, and it would also when you're even when you require this information, there's a limit to the information you can ask them. You can't just give them a blanket and ask all the information. There's a limit to the information you can ask. Do you understand? So that's
Mm,
why we as legal professionals come in and advise you properly.
yes.
We advise you every process. There's always a legal implication, legal risk involved in every process. So you need to involve a legal profession from the onset. Cost effective legal profession will come to play, risk management will come to play. You have tailored legal services, we educate you more, then we're able to integrate, like most of my colleagues now have on their website, where you can easily get documents that you might need. That's technological
Mm,
integration coming to play. Then networking and collaboration. We cannot speak too much about networking. I'm a legal professional that has an array of accountants, tax consultants, auditors in my as my network. So if you come to me and same with my colleagues, I would be able to liaise with all these professionals for you, even get a discounted rate for you as an SME. So
mm,
So in the long run, you're getting more services, you're getting good
Yeah.
service, you're getting value for your money. So
Mm, mm.
it's debunked that myth that having a lawyer, engaging in legal service is too expensive.
So basically, like the risk is a lot more expensive than whatever it is that you might have paid the professional at the beginning. I see.
Yes,
I see.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So, given the dynamic nature of the legal landscape, and thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that. I didn't want to talk too much. Let me not say anything that they just come and carry me after this session. But when it comes to all of us and our legal services, but anyway, basically, thanks for that, because I think that really sheds light on what needs to be done. I think the fear usually with people is the fact that it is an expensive cost at the beginning, especially if it's that you're just starting out and you've not had anything planned out. But I think it's safe to say that it's a necessary cost, and
Yeah,
the investment far outweighs whatever might come down the line if you get into trouble, basically.
yeah, yes.
So thank you for explaining that to us in detail. Now, given the dynamic nature of the legal landscape, how can legal professionals adapt to stay relevant and resilient in the face of industry changes and challenges? As we know, there's so many what's it called? There's so many things that change in the industry. There are also quite a number of people in the industry. So just by looking at it, what would you say that legal professionals need to do to make sure that they remain relevant in this industry? What do they need to do?
Okay. Thank you for that question. It's quite interesting question. One of the things I would say, embrace technology.
Mm,
Um, and I see a lot of my colleagues doing that. I see a lot of my colleagues doing that. Just like I earlier mentioned, that technological integration with the legal profession, you'll be having some lawyers having documents, legal tech, the
yes.
legal tech. So they have they get, customers can easily get documents. Customers can easily get professional advice at the tip of their fingers. So
Yeah.
that's come to play, and also being client centric, as having that client centric approach when you're dealing with a client, because things are changing. It might not be the same way you dealt with a client some years back and you deal with him now. Things might have changed. You need to be flexible with them to an
Mm,
extent, maybe in drafting their contract, in dealing with the issues they have at hand, in
mm,
providing solutions to them. Then,
yes.
then the international legal landscape is changing. There's so many legal trends, international legal trends that are coming up now. For instance, in the employment law, we have the International Labour Organization coming up with new standards that speaks to violation and harassment. Even having lewd comments, making lewd comments during job interview, is considered as harassment. It does not necessarily have to be the actual act. So we
Mm,
as legal professionals have to be in tune with international legal trends. Then
mm,
also we have to ensure that our competency cuts across various culture. We'll be able to advise because it's a global village now. You might have a client that has vendors, other customers, or investors coming in from other countries, and you have to be competent enough to advise them professionally. So having cross-cultural competence is very, very important. And as I said, I know I told you earlier that I'm a stickler for learning. So continuous learning and professional development is something I would advise for us, for our legal profession. And I
mm.
know that our organization, the NBA, has been doing that very well, especially the section on business law. Have been doing that very well. And also ICSAN.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, because I myself, I was going to link it back to what you said earlier about the need for continuous development, because it's a changing world and it's rapidly changing. We see that all the time. And I see that other people who have come on this session have said the same thing. People who have come in from the agribusiness sector, people who have come in from leadership, coaching, and development, they've all maintained this need for continuous professional development, that, learning is a continuous journey, and I think, to add to that, one of the things that Latifa, who was previously on this session, also said is that, sometimes we think that learning is an expensive thing, but there are a lot of avenues we can try out, even if we're not able to
Yeah.
take a professional course that we can pay for. She was
Yeah.
discussing about how she's in WhatsApp groups, that the knowledge that she has learned from those groups, she can never pay for
Exactly.
them, even if she tried. You
Exactly.
know?
Exactly. I would attest to that. I would attest to that. I have, don't say I'm blowing people's trumpet here, but the ELAN, that's the Employment Law Lawyers of Nigeria. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, that platform, I've learned so much. I've learned so much. Big up to
Yeah.
to my colleagues over there. There's so much
Nice.
you learn. Yeah.
Nice, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It's really good to know, So there's that. There are associations, there are books. So as long as we have the genuine intention to learn, I think one of my teachers will say, well, I think it's something about when you have the intention to learn, the teacher or the opportunity will present itself. So it's about having that intention and knowing that, there's nothing like I know it all. There's always more to learn. There's more knowledge to acquire and things like that. We can continue on this journey. So lovely, lovely. Thank you for sharing that. And I also like the fact that you said that, it's a global village. So some of the cases that you might be treating or the matters that you might be handling might not necessarily be limited to your geographical location. And you
Yeah.
need to be able to consult or offer advice regardless. So that's why
Mm.
it's important that you're in tune with what happens in different industries, and you just continuously expose yourself, basically. Thank you for sharing that. Very insightful.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
now we will move to the questions that we have around like personal branding as well.
Okay.
And I will start off with just a segue of into how particularly this WhatsApp group you mentioned, and also how people have learned from others. Because I think that a lot of times when people think of personal branding, what quickly comes to mind for them is, oh, I have to go and do a photo shoot. Oh, I have to record videos in a certain way. Oh, I only have to wear black glasses so that they know that every time they see me, they get the cool lawyer. Or I have to, and even though all those things are great, I get it. It's all part of like trying to create an identity. But I think sometimes we're so caught up with the outside that we forget what goes on in the inside.
Inside.
The
Yes.
people who are on this WhatsApp group, for example, might not be the most popular people in the world, but they have created a platform where they can use their knowledge to make a difference in their industries, some of which you are benefiting from. Like I said, only last week, someone came to discuss about how she has benefited so much from WhatsApp groups as well in a different industry. So, what that shows us is that the knowledge we have, the experience we have, the expertise we have can actually be useful to other people. And
Hmm.
that's where I like to broaden what personal branding is and move it away from, oh, I'm just showing off, oh, I got this award today, I got this achievement today, to how can I positively impact the life of somebody else in my industry. So by sharing the knowledge I have, by sharing the experience I have, and by just kind of trying to make a difference, bringing out stuff that's substantial and that truly helps somebody else who might be struggling with some case, or who might be struggling with some clients, or who might be wanting to set up a project but not really knowing how to go about it. I think that our personal brands can also fill that role of helping other people in a positive manner, as well.
Okay. Okay.
So I yes, I'm with
So
you.
I have questions for you, so that which I know some of my colleagues who also would also want to ask. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. In today's digital age, online presence seems to be a crucial role, seems to be so important. So, as a legal
Yes.
professional, which platforms, which tools, which strategy do you think we can emulate, we can use, at the same time be able to create visibility, credibility, but not losing or ensuring that we maintain our legal profession?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, one of thank you for that question. I love it. When we look at the legal profession, what I would say is that one of the most important things, and one of the things that I teach in my course about, you know, trying to figure out what platforms or tools to use, is the very first thing we must ask ourselves is who are our target audience. Now, sometimes people will say everyone, but there's nothing like that. Your target audience can never be everyone, right? So you must always figure out, okay, let's say you're in the legal professional, you've operated there for maybe 20 years, 10 years, 15 years. You can then ask yourself that, who are the people I want to target? Do I want to focus on people who they don't know what they want to do in life yet, but they feel like they're tilting towards the legal profession? The kind of information you share with them would probably be things around, okay, this is what the profession is like. Oh, it's not just about wearing black and white and wearing high heel. Oh, just left the court. Oh, these are the challenges, these are the opportunities. Think I'm well, oh, before you jump in. You might want to say, okay, there are so many problems we have as an industry, and that's what I want to go for. I want to say, I want to be more relevant in my association and say, how can we create change that is industry wide? So the
Okay.
people that you're targeting are leaders in the industry, thought leaders in the industries, and also people in legal space. Now, when we begin to drill it down to who exactly we're targeting, it automatically determines the kind of tools that we'll use. So, for example, if we're looking at young people who are just kind of trying to make up their mind on what to do, but they feel like the legal profession, law is an option for them, then for those people, of course, we can go to social media. We can even consider an Instagram. We can consider a TikTok, whatever, right? If we're looking for people who they're already in our industry, they're already in our association, then we might be looking at a LinkedIn. But I don't want us to just restrict the work that we do to online, because I feel like people quickly run there because, oh, that's where everybody will see you and things like that.
Oh,
But
oh,
for some
okay.
of us, all the work we're going to do will be in our corner office and it's enough. So for some of us, the work that we will do with our personal brand will be on ground, on ground. When they're having those association meetings, that's where we are. Coordinating things, figuring out the topics that can really impact the industry in the long term or in the short term, and addressing those. For some of us, it's only in our office. We're trying to get this office to a point where it has a standard of ethics or integrity or something like that, like you said
Okay.
before.
Okay.
So it's really about understanding who we are speaking to, and then letting that automatically dictate the platforms that we would use, right? So it's not
Okay.
about spreading ourselves thin and saying, oh, everybody's on LinkedIn, I have to be on LinkedIn. No, everybody's on WhatsApp, I want to be on WhatsApp so that my daddy will see I'm doing well. No, you have to ask yourself, who am I trying to target and what platform will give me the most impact with those people, and then go with that.
Oh, oh, interesting, 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 interesting. I didn't even know that it's not just online, but
Mm.
also offline.
Fine,
Interesting,
yes. So
interesting.
critical, that offline, so critical, so critical.
Okay, okay. So now going to my next question. How do you balance showcasing your expertise in legal matters
Yes.
while also expressing your unique personality values through your personal brand?
Love that. That's a very interesting question. And this is the way I would look at it. So, as legal professionals, first of all, there are lots of things that we need to put into consideration. First of all, we work in a very confidential space. So, of course, we cannot disclose confidential information. We must know that. But what I like is with every legal professional, you're still a human being. And with you being a human being comes a certain personality type, right? So for some of us, we're more bubbly. For some of us, we're a lot more calm. I don't know if people say me I'm calm, sha, but
Mm.
for some people, thank you, sis, you just casted me. But for some people, they're a lot calmer. For some people, so everybody has their unique personality. And I think that as we're expressing the work we want to do, or as we're building our personal brand, it's important that it's in line with who we are. So we're not trying to do what we're not or take on a personality that's not us, because that is tiring and we will burn out so fast that we won't come back to it. The second thing are our values. A lot of us are grounded by certain values, and we always need to reflect on those values, remember them, and make sure that they hold us strong, right? Now, there's some things that we will not do as a result of our values, right? So some of us, there are different things that we hold dear. So for some people, they're compassionate people by nature. They will not come on sessions and be shouting at people or talking down at them. It's important to them to treat people the way they would treat themselves, to put themselves in the shoes of others. So in their teaching, in their sharing, in their expressing, they're very caring, they're kind, they're compassionate, right? For some people, Even if people say that the trending thing right now is that you should do a video and you should be dancing, you should be dancing. So be dancing like this as they are talking about the legal professions. Some people will never go on a public platform and dance, right? It's not something
Yeah.
that they do, right? And that's okay. So that's why one of the very first things that I do with my course is that I help make sure that people revisit what their values are and make sure they are very clear on them. They remember them. They write them down. Like literally, you have a workbook, you write it down. These are my values. And then you go to your personality. What kind of personality am I? Now, to speak, what kind of personality type am I? Now, to go back to the personality, I also want to mention something. For some people, maybe they are more harsh in nature. It doesn't give you license to go and be horrible to everybody. No, that one, go and work on yourself, please, first. When you finish working on yourself, finish, then now come back. So sometimes we have some traits that are not the best. And we can now not say, okay, this is just who I am, take me as I am, take it like that. No, we have to make a conscious effort to work on who we are. But the most important thing is that we have an understanding of who we are and we have an understanding of the things that guide us, what our values are. Then we use that to direct the trajectory of our personal brand. So even if we're a legal professional or not, we understand that yes, what we're talking about is around the legal profession, but it's in line with our personalities and it also does not go against our values, right? So that's how we stand out and and trying to express and make a difference.
That's deep. That's deep. So what I can discern from what you said now is what you'll be doing will speak to self-awareness, will
Absolutely.
speak to self-improvement, and
Absolutely.
also speak to organic personal branding, right? Okay,
Absolutely.
interesting, interesting, interesting. Okay, so how can legal professionals maintain, how do I say it?
Mm.
Maintain a cohesive personal branding across various touch points.
Mm.
How can we do that? How
Yes.
can we do that?
So what I would say is it's really about focus areas. And focus areas about even if we know focus areas specifically speaking to even if we know we're going to be talking about things in the legal profession about law. Law is very broad, like you said. Like my people will say, pick one struggle, pick a struggle. Don't try to do everything. Ask yourself, is it employment, labor
No.
law that I want to focus on? Is it property law? And even within that, let's now ask ourselves that is the approach that I will be taking case studies, coming up with case studies and breaking that down, or will I be trying to simplify terms to the layman? Okay, how do I help a layman, do that? Or like what you said now around, the work you've done for SMEs and why it's important for SMEs to understand these different things with the legal profession. Am I the one that's going to explain that to them so that I'm kind of like the toolkit for an SME? So it's really about narrowing down what we want to do, picking a focus area, going in on that, so we make it as simplified and as focused as possible. Can we expand with time? Yes. But at least let us be known for one particular area, especially based on
Okay.
our capacity, and
Okay.
then move that across our different touch points. Now, on our different touch points, for example, this can be in form of banners on, let's say, a platform like LinkedIn. This can be a speech delivered in person, whatever the case may be. But at least let's try to bring some cohesion to what we're doing by focusing on a specific area or areas,
Okay.
and at least sticking to that as much as possible and building from there.
Okay. Okay. So, like, you're going to assist them, us, my colleagues, and I, how to create a niche for
Yes,
ourselves.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's very important. So we also don't spread ourselves too thin.
Clean. Yeah. Yeah. That's don't burn out. Okay.
Exactly, which is a real thing.
It's real, oh, it's real.
It's real.
Okay.
Multiple survived way too many. Not even survived because it takes a while to get over it. Burnout
Yeah.
is it's not nice. It's not cool. So yeah.
So, okay. Now, tell us about your course and how is it relevant to us as legal professionals?
I was going to start a small dance there. I was just like, behave yourself. Behave yourself. You're
Yes.
in public. Behave yourself. You're in public. Okay, so basically, why I really like that we had this conversation today is that even from what you said, I already see the efforts that you've even made, and even looking at your profile and the work that you've done both online and offline, it shows that you are also, you've built a brand for yourself that you're trying to that you're trying to work with, which is really nice. And I think that sometimes people think that because they're in professions like accounting, like finance or law, like consulting, they're usually scared to build personal brands. One, because they don't want to. They're very concerned about their image because they realize that what they put out there also has an impact on their organization and sometimes even
Yes.
their
Yeah.
clients. Then they're
Yes.
also really worried about confidentiality because, for example, if you're in marketing communications, you work on a client's brief. Hey, para, you are finished like this. You are going to go and put everything online. This is the radio ad we did. This is the social media banner. These are the places we
Hmm.
went to. It's easy in professions like that. But what I try to tell people is that personal branding is not restricted to my kind of profession. It's for everybody. What we just need to, however, do is to really broaden our mindset and remember that it's for impact. It's to help other people. It's to make a difference in our industries. It's to build a legacy. If we have those type of things as a backdrop, it's easier for us to then create and build. So for legal professionals, for example, why I think that legal professionals, in fact, we actually have a legal professional that has already signed up for the course, by the way. So, and we have one who has taken the course in the past as well. So, for sure, it is for legal professionals. But what I would say is that when you come into the course, one of the things that we help you to do is, first of all, be very clear on your personality, be very clear on your values, a lot of self awareness in terms of understanding who you are and what you believe your role is in your society or in your industry. We start from there. And then the course moves on to helping you to understand who you should be targeting. So we open up the options for you so you see them. Are we targeting people who are laymen who have no idea about what our industry is about? Or are we targeting our colleagues? Or are we targeting people who want to come in? Are we targeting people who even feel like they've reached the peak of their career? They don't know what to do anymore. What else does the legal profession offer to them? We do that for you. So it gives you an idea of who you should be targeting. Then we go into your focus areas. Everybody, they usually have something they are more passionate about in their industries. And even if you don't have it in the immediate, you can always find it. So that's something else that the course helps you to open up. What are the focus areas and how do you want to approach them? Then again, what are the platforms? So, like I said, it's not all about LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. People are so stuck on these platforms, but there's so much more that you can do. Even on LinkedIn, it's not just about posting, right? This is a live session we're doing on LinkedIn right now. Sometimes it's not even about live sessions. Sometimes it's about articles or publications that will always be relevant in our industries, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about that as well. So let's broaden our mindset and see what else we can do. And there are lots of other platforms that I expose people to online and offline in the course, how to use them that we can use for our personal brands as well, right? People always say that if you're looking for information or you're looking for an article, you're looking for some research about something that happened in Nigeria,
That's
it's
what
so
you
hard
need
to
to
find. So why don't you be the one to start writing about those things? You can
do.
fill that gap. And then the last thing I do is to help people find a stress-free way of creating a personal brand. We all play different roles. We're mothers, we're daughters, we're teachers, we're workers. We have different responsibilities, right? We cannot say we're going to leave everything that we're responsible for and just be building a personal brand 247. It's
Imagine.
not realistic.
Yeah, it's not
So
possible.
yeah, and I also don't think it's
You
also
work.
yeah, to tell people that wake up every day and be putting one LinkedIn post, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, one in the night. No, you don't have to do that. So I help people to find a stress-free way that can help them create messages that they still want to create for their personal brand, but in a way that they can use it over and over again. So it's not like you're posting one thing once, you forget about it. I teach people how to create original content so that they can then break that down and use it for a longer time and across different platforms. So those are some of the things that we go through in the course. So I personally am even rooting for more legal professionals to join this course because there's so much legal things that fly over our heads or laws that we don't understand, So I think that there's so much work that we need to do to bridge that gap. So I would love it if more legal professionals actually come on board to take this course. And the course is offered in two options. So we have the essential option, and then we have the immersive option. For the essential option, it runs for a month. So and it's weekends, Sundays, because I know that I'm working with professionals. So four Sundays in a month. So that's it's a month. It runs for 4 Sundays. For the essential option, you get access to recordings for life. So you can always go back to the course, even if you're not available. You can watch the replay. You also join the network of people who have joined the course as well, who are building like you. And that goes for 100,000. And then we have the immersive option, which comes with an extra 4 weeks of group coaching and accountability. Because I realized that to learn is one thing, to put it into practice is a completely different
Another
thing.
thing.
Yeah, so to make sure that we execute and we implement what we've learned, I also did the immersive option as well. So the first option is 100,000. The other option is just 50,000 extra. So it's 150,000. But there's an early bird discount. So for the first option, you can pay 80,000 instead of 100, and for the second option, you can pay 150,000. The link is bit.ly/byt join. So you can check it out there. You can also send me a message on LinkedIn or whatever the case may be if you have any challenges, and you get to sign up. It's really value for your money, and I think it really impacts the way people approach life and the
Yes.
work that they also do in their industries. So yeah.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
I thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Thank you as well. Thank you as well. And as we move to a close, I have to ask you, is there any advice that you would give to legal professionals generally, whether they want to build a personal brand or not? How would you advise them? What would you say?
Oh, well, I would say we should keep learning and keep growing our network. We should keep learning,
Mm,
keep growing our network. And
mm.
learning makes us younger anyway. So who does,
Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that.
who doesn't want to stay? Makes us younger and makes us relevant.
Forever
So I would say
young. Love
that.
it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for your time. I truly enjoyed this session.
Thank
And
you
for
for having me.
yes, so everybody, you can catch up with Yetunde. Please follow her on LinkedIn. She shares amazing, amazing information that you really find beneficial. So please follow her. And if you want to get any of the details of the course, you can follow me. You can check on our course page as well. You get all the information. Thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you.
Yetunde is going to be joining us as well. So look forward to seeing you. Thank you and have a good afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.